What's happening? What is going on? Still a nation. What is popping? Pre-game show is back in effect, guys, and it should be a quick one. I always remind you guys that the pre-game show is intended to get in and get out. No phone calls, anything like that. Just quick thoughts, and then I will see what you guys have to say in the chat, and we'll roll out. So, quick pre-game. I've been out all day. Had to travel a little bit, so I definitely want to just get to this, knock this out. As you can see, I still got my sweatshirt on, and I wore out today. I haven't gotten in my home comfort yet, but I wanted to get right to it so I could chill the rest of the night. So first and foremost, let's say what's up and hello to the early commenters. Let's do that. Not so many of you guys in here right away, so that makes it easier for me to just say hello to you guys and get right to the topics. Rajon39, use a big hit. My good buddy Ron Gaming is in the building. Ron Simpson is in the building. Jared Devil, Double T, Billy Smith, Drama Sidell. Hello, Hello, the real Missy. How you doing, the real Missy? How you doing this evening, Miss Lady? Hope you're doing very well. Thank you for coming by. Good brother Tony in the building. Kenyon in the building. Ernest Grice, Vista Light, and we'll start right from there. Did I say Billy Smith? If I didn't, let me say that now. And Solo One just popped in as well. So let's get right to it. So I guess the first thing we'll talk about, guys, and let me pull it up here. We'll just talk about those, who are on the injury report. I will read who were on the injury report on Friday, and then I will read what we currently know as far as game status. So on Friday for the Pittsburgh Steelers, injury and practice report. Ben Roethlisberger, of course, pectoral and hip was a full participation. Melvin Ingram with the groin. These groins, I tell you, boy, has the Steelers had a lot of groin injuries this year. Melvin Ingram was a groin, did not participate. Chase Claypool, hamstring. He was a full participant. Anthony McFarland, full participant. Zach Banner, full participant. And one tight end, Eric Ebron, hamstring, did not practice on Friday. So if we go down to the Cleveland Browns here, on Friday, Cleveland Browns, Jadeveon Clowney did not practice. Malik Jackson, limited. Safety Richard LeConte, I think that's how you say his name, did not practice. Jarvis Landry was limited. Donovan Peoples-Jones did not practice. Denzel Ward did not practice. Odell Beckham, limited. Nick Chubb, limited. Jack Conklin, limited. Tony Fields, full, but he had an illness, but he was full. AJ Green, who was a cornerback, limited. Blake Hance, full. Baker Mayfield, full. So we're more than likely going to see Baker Mayfield. Malcolm Smith, limited. J.C. Tretter, limited. Jetrick Willis Jr. was a full participant. Isn't that the kid, the kid that's on the commercials with Baker? Is it that guy? Because I know he got hurt early on in the think in training camp or something like that. Isn't it that guy? He was full. Mac Wilson was full. Tack McKinley did not practice, and Johnny Stanton was limited. Now let's switch over to game time. As far as what we know already for game status, Eric Ebron and Melvin Ingram are both out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So keep that in mind because we'll come right back to it. Those two are out. Also, for the Cleveland Browns, game status, that safety, Richard LeConte, is out. Donovan Peoples-Jones is out. Denzel Ward is out. Odell Beckham is questionable. Jadeveon Clowney, questionable. AJ Green, questionable. Malik Jackson, questionable. Tack McKinley, questionable. And Johnny Stanton is also questionable. So very interesting, man. Both the Steelers and the Browns have some key guys out. I would say key guys in terms of the Browns. I would more than likely add, Donovan Peoples-Jones in there, Denzel Ward, and definitely, Odell Beckham and Clowney, even though Beckham hasn't really been their go-to guy here of late. But, these guys could be significant to what they're trying to do offensively, both him and Peoples-Jones. And, of course, anytime you have one of your starting cornerbacks out, a guy like Denzel Ward. Good for us, right? Maybe we'll get some favorable matchups. But let's talk a little bit about Melvin Ingram and Eric Ebron. Interesting things that we heard earlier in the week. Okay, there was speculation out there that Melvin Ingram, perhaps, not even from his side. The first speculation was that, what's his name? Ian Rappaport put Melvin Ingram as one of the guys who could be a potential trade candidate, right? And that story started to grow a few legs. Later on in the week, it was basically reported that Melvin Ingram was in favor of a trade, right? So now the story has even grown even more legs. Just got some information here that Kenyon has shared with the group chat. Basically, Jeremy Fowler is saying this, that both sides are open to a trade at this point from what he's hearing, talking about the Steelers and Melvin Ingram. But let me throw another thing out there that Kenyon mentioned earlier. He said that maybe we should consider the possibility of both Eric Ebron and Melvin Ingram possibly being traded. What do you guys think about that? And I'll come back to that, man, before I wrap up the show, because I want to hear you guys' comments on that. But is that a possibility, and are you guys in favor of that? And if so, what type of compensation would you be looking for? So like I said, if you don't want to put that in the chat right now, you can hold that until the end of the show. Maybe we'll wrap up with that question. But I definitely want to hear what you guys think and have to say about that. And let me just speak on Melvin Ingram really quick, man, before I dive into the little pregame stuff. Listen, if it is true that Melvin Ingram is requesting a trade due to utilization, listen, I got all due respect to Melvin Ingram. I've always liked him as a player, seemed to be a good person. I like him in his interviews. He's very professional, doesn't really come off nasty. From what I can tell from watching him in his career, has never really had any issues or gotten into any type of real trouble. So a good guy. But I would say this, if Melvin Ingram is literally saying that he would like to be traded because of utilization, then my question to him would be, what did he actually think was going to happen coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers? I can only expect that the Steelers told him exactly what his role would be. He would be a rotational guy. When we heard him interview, we heard him even say, we got a three-headed monster, and that's kind of what it was. Now, has his rotation gone down a little bit? Seems like it. Seems like he hasn't been in the mix as much on the outside. What I have noticed more, that three edge rusher formation that we put out there, and a lot of times we got Melvin Ingram rushing from the middle. And that's not really his main forte. Not saying he can't do it, but he's an edge rusher. Okay, and I think he's been more effective for the Steelers as an edge rusher. We've also seen Melvin Ingram caught out in coverage. Okay, that is not his forte either. So I will say this, maybe his complaint is he's not being utilized the way he should be, even as a rotational piece. I don't know. That I can agree with. But if he is indeed, in fact, saying that because of his lack of utilization or snaps, then I would have to disagree with his assessment. Like, coming into the situation, I'm pretty sure he was made aware of the fact that he would be a three-man rotation. You're not taking T.J. Watt off the field, and Alex Highsmith is a guy that the Steelers invested in a draft pick. They were confident enough that Alex Highsmith would be the guy that would take the place of one Bud Dupree, right? So of course you're not going to reduce his snaps because you don't want to hinder his progression, right? So Melvin Ingram had to understand that, and him being a veteran guy. So if, in fact, Melvin Ingram's beef is the fact that he's not getting enough snaps, then I totally disagree with his assessment in that regard. Other than that, I have nothing negative to say about him, man. Listen, if he wants to be traded, fine. If the Steelers can get something for him, fine, because we already have a fifth-round draft pick that we no longer have for trading for Ahkello Witherspoon, who seems to be completely off the radar. If we can get something back to replace that, cool. I like Melvin Ingram in our rotation. I'm going to be honest with you. I like that much more than without him. I like our chances with 3 guys who have the potential to rush the passer versus now Melvin doesn't play, and maybe we'll get a glimpse of this tomorrow, and we're depending on the Tuska guy or Taco Charlton. No disrespect to Taco Charlton, but Taco Charlton hasn't necessarily been what he was projected to be since he's been in the league, right? Now, I mentioned this to Tony about an hour ago. Me and Tony talked on the phone. I said, hey, let's not forget that Taco did play with Bush in college. Maybe Bush can inspire him or something. You never know. Sometimes all it takes is for you to find the right place, the right scheme, the right team or what have you, and you do your part and do it fairly well. So maybe we have something in Taco Charlton. Who knows? He was a first-round pick, and I'm sure the Steelers view him as such. Both Kevin Colbert and Tomlin love pedigree. So maybe we get something out of him. But even that said, I still prefer having Melvin Ingram on the roster right now for this season as part of our 3-man edge rush rotation. So those are just my quick thoughts. All right, now let me just get into my really, really quick pregame stuff. Like I said, guys, I'm flying through this. We're at 13 minutes now, so I'm not going to be too much longer at all. Very simple. Very simple in this game. Stop the run. That's all I got. Stop the run and establish the run on offense. That's it. That is it. I feel like the Steelers' pass defense will be able to hang in this game, whether Baker is playing or not. I feel like we'll be able to stick around. We might give up some passes. We might give up a touchdown or 2. I mean, it's the NFL. But I definitely feel like our defense, from a pass standpoint, has the ability to keep Cleveland under 20 points or, 20 or less, maybe even 21, right? I think that's possible. I think if we force them to have to pass more than they're running the football, I like our chances better. We cannot allow them to get into a comfortable rhythm running that football. But let me tell you why. One is obvious. Time of possession, ball control, right? The second one is they have a really good running back, or they have a really good stable of backs. And we're probably going to see Nick Chubb in this ball game. Okay? More than likely, we're not going to see Kareem Hunt, because if I remember correctly, I think Hunt is on IR. But they have proven that they have other guys. Ernest Johnson, these guys can run the football. Their blocking scheme allows them to run the football. They have a very good offensive line, allows them to run the football. And then number 3, what does Baker Mayfield do very well? Play action. That, to me, is where Baker Mayfield is able to shine. Play action game and bootlegs and such off of the run game. But if you limit the run, if you at least get it to a point where they can't keep depending on their run game, if we're able to find a better run defense than we had in recent games, we make the game very interesting. But that is my assessment. I have really nothing else to say. I said it on Terrible Towel Tuesday that the Cleveland Browns don't really do anything that scare me like other teams. I think it's a pretty good matchup, the Browns and the Steelers. I think it could go either way, meaning there's nothing that I could think of that, oh no, you know what I mean? They're not one of those teams that's like just blowing through people. They have the ability to play well. They have the ability to get going. They have a solid defense. They have a solid pass rush, right? But like I said, if we can make them a pass more than run type of team, I think our defense can hang in there. I'm just concerned about the run D, which is the reason, again, why I put in the title, this is a season-defining game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why, you may ask? Well, I said this on Tuesday. We're going to face some more teams that can run the football. We're going to face the Cleveland Browns twice. We're going to face the Cincinnati Bengals again, and Mixon has been able to run the football fairly well. We're going to face the Baltimore Ravens twice. We're going to face the Tennessee Titans. We know they can run the football. Hey, we're even going to face the Minnesota Vikings, who have my man, Florida State man, Dalvin Cook. They can run the football. Okay? We have some rushing games coming our way. So if we are still springing leaks like we did last week against Seattle, against these teams who are known to run the ball, it's going to tell me all I need to know about this season and where this season is going. All right? And you guys know tomorrow is that game, the 7th game. That's when I really know what my team is. Coming out of the bye, we're on the road. It's an AFC North opponent, an AFC opponent. This is a season-defining game because if the Steelers lose this game, they're not out of it mathematically. They're not out of it because I even said it on Tuesday. Listen, if they come out and they play a tough, gritty, physical, tight game and they lose, I don't feel so bad about the team because there's still time for them to rebound. And like I said, Cleveland is not a bum team. Cleveland is a solid football team. So if they play a tight, competitive game, you don't feel so bad because there's still time. Mathematically, there's still time. But if you go to 3-4 and the Browns handily beat you, and you're now 0-2 in the division after being handled by the Browns, it's not pretty. It's not going to be pretty. So again, I will finish with this, and then I will come over to the chat. Season-defining game. My only pregame game plan, we must make Cleveland more one-dimensional. We cannot allow them to be comfortable and run the football the way they do. And I know I'm talking about, I think they are the number one rush attack. I think. I could be off with that, but I know they're like in the top 3 or something like that. So you're talking about a top rushing attack, and you're talking about making them one-dimensional. I know it's a hard task, but I'm telling you, we cannot allow Cleveland to get comfortable and run the football and work their play action the way they do and they bootlegs and they RPOs. We cannot. We do that, we're in some big trouble. We're going to be in some big trouble if that happens. And I would like to see us be able to get our rhythm going and have a nice balanced game. I like to see us be able to run the football because I don't necessarily want, I could say this every week, but I really don't want Ben Roethlisberger dropping him back, 40 plus times against that defense and Myles Garrett, again, I don't want to see that happen. So there you have it, man. That's really all I got. That's the key to victory. Make the Cleveland Browns more one-dimensional. Make them have to pass more than they can run. Don't make them allow them to get comfortable with their run game. And if they're passing more than they're running the football, I do like our pass defense to be able to sustain. I'm not saying they're going to shut anything out, but I think we're good enough to sustain. Jarvis Landry, and Njoku are the two guys that you need to keep your eyes on. Njoku could be a matchup situation, as far as the middle of the field and, getting caught up on Devin Bush. Maybe we can get more situations where Schobert might be able to challenge him there. We'll see. And then, like I said, Landry always seems to make these tough catches and make these key first downs against the Steelers. He's that guy that you got to worry about. So that's what I got. So, all right, guys, let me come on over here to the chat, man. And I guess I'll pose that question again along with some other things. We're at 21 minutes, so got a few minutes to spare. If the Steelers were to trade Melvin Ingram, number one, what compensation are you looking for? What realistic, let me say this really close to you guys, what realistic compensation are you looking for? Also, if Eric Ebron is traded, what compensation are you looking for? Realistic compensation. And how do you guys feel overall about either one of those guys or both of those guys potentially being traded? All right, let's get into the chat, man. Let's see what you guys got. Double T says, watch Chooks shut down Garrett. He might have a decent game, man. Listen, he played well. The boy played well against Von Miller, played relatively well against Von Miller. You can't really be mad at that. Kenyon says a 5th for Ingram, I'm assuming, and a 6th for Ebron. Okay. Double T says 5th for, I'm assuming that's Ingram, 7th for Ebron. Okay. Hunter Johnson said 3rd or 4th round pick. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you really think 3rd or 4th are either one of those guys going to get that at this stage of their career? Let's not forget, Melvin Ingram has a little age on him. Melvin Ingram was a free agent before the Steelers got him. So do you still think that he could get a 3rd? 4th is stretching it, but do you really think a 3rd round pick would be given for either one of those guys? Tony says 4th or 5th for Ebron. Oh, no, he said he meant Ingram. Yeah, 5th to me is probably going to be the ceiling. 5th or 4th, not 3rd. Okay, I got you, Hunter. And what else, guys? Anything else, y'all want to throw out here, man, while we're here? Like I said, I'll kick it with you guys a few more moments. And how are you guys feeling about the game, man? What do you guys think? What are you guys expecting? How you feeling about it? You know what I mean? Are you comfortable or are you a little nervous? How do you guys feel? Do you agree with my assessment saying that this will be a season-defining game? Oh, boy, here we go. We got some junk. Let's get the junk out of here. Oh, I'm going to have to sign in to get the junk out of here. Why these fools always come in here trolling, man? I don't understand it. I guess people get their rocks off doing that. I don't. Rather weird to me. But while I'm doing that, man, guys, feel free to chime in. Let me get these idiots out of here. There we go. Let me see. Mr. ABS says, tough to get a high pick for Ingram since teams know he wants out. And only a 1-year rental. Yeah, and a mid-year rental, so to speak. So they will hold more leverage in that negotiation. So 5th would be the best case scenario. I'm kind of rocking with that as well, Mr. ABS. I don't see much more than a 5th, to be honest. Double T said this would be a good test to see where the run defense stands. Fully agree with that. This is huge. What else you guys got? I know you guys got something else. Jim Inman says, if both guys get traded 5th and 6th, okay, yep, I can agree with that. Mr. All Days Off says, Watson to the Dolphins. Are you just saying that, or has that hit the wire? I know they were in trade talks. Well, we don't know. We heard reports, but is that something concrete, or are you just saying you think Watson is going to the Dolphins? Kenyon says, we're 3-3, and if we lose, we have a favorable next 4 games. We really do. And that's even more importantly why it would be great if the Steelers were able to get a win, man. If you can get a win tomorrow on the road against an AFC North opponent, you get back to 500 in the division, right? And then you got the Bears and the Lions coming up. And again, looking at how those teams have played, those are winnable games, Then let's not discount the Lions, even though the Lions don't have a dub. The Lions have been in some close contests. The Lions took the Ravens to the brink and probably should have won that game. They've been in some close games. So, the It's not to say it's an easy win, but those watching how both of those teams have presented themselves so far, then yeah, you would think they would be definitely favorable games in your opinion. Ernest Grice says, I'm scared of the Lions because they are all out. Yeah, and Kenyon mentioned as much on Tuesday. They have nothing to lose. And, when you have nothing to lose, teams like that are dangerous. So, and it's funny, a very Steeler-like way, what would happen, the Steelers will mess around and win tomorrow, beat the Bears, and then drop the game to the Lions and mess around, and that would be the Lions' first win of the season. And then what would happen. Then the media would overreact, fans would overreact. Oh, the Steelers, they can never beat teams that are under 500, blah, 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 blah. All of that crazy stuff, but people fail to realize it's the NFL. Sometimes things are just coincidental. It's the NFL, man. It's any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Like I said, honestly and truly, the Lions should have beat the Ravens. They should have. How you give up that 4th and 19 is beyond me. And then it comes down to a 66-yard field goal that hit the crossbar, bounced straight up, and then flipped over. Come on, it took that to beat the Lions. So, and that's the thing, man. I do agree with what my man Double T is saying. This offense just still, I don't feel comfortable with our offense. I really do not, man. They're not giving me any reason to feel confident that we can get the job done or that we can score more than 20 points, right? And I'm always talking about us holding a team to 20 or less. I'm not confident that we're always going to score that amount because we just haven't shown it, So it's interesting, man. Let's see, 1 or 2 more here. Hunter Johnson says, if Ben just throws bombs tomorrow, we ain't winning. Got to have a good run pass balance and get the defense guessing. Yeah, man, that's it. And again, I mentioned it on Tuesday's show, man. Ben, that's how he plays. When he sees the single high, he immediately thinks shot play. And a lot of times, man, when you go back and break the film down, you'll see there guys running underneath routes that actually pop open. But Ben's aggressiveness is just, I'm going to take the shot. And again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I just wish we were more methodical sometimes. In those decisions. I wish he would be. And like you said, I concur. If we're just throwing bombs, and who knows, he might mess around and do that and we connect on all of them. It's just not likely. But if we're throwing bombs, just that's all he's doing, I'm not liking our chances either. All right, this will be the last one. Mr. ABS says, we need picks. Not having a 4th, 5th, or 6th next year is hard to imagine. Hesitating trading players is more 50-50 with the Steelers. Ebron would hurt the most in terms of depth, but need the picks. Concur. I concur. It would hurt the depth a little bit, as far as tight end, and, of course, Muth would get more time, and then, of course, Gentry, and then I guess you would assume a guy like Rader. But we need the picks, man. We definitely do. Because, again, I'll end it with this. Listen to what Kenyon said on Tuesday's show. There's some offensive linemen that might not even be on that team next year. Chooks might not be there. We'll see. Chooks is a possible re-sign. Because he hasn't played into a huge contract. So maybe he's one of them dudes you can keep around. Right? Zach Banner, who knows? Right? And guys like Trey Turner, so I say that to say this. We got a lot of pieces we need to plug next season as well. Free agency may take care of some of that, but again, when you're trying to rebuild and you have to depend on both draft and free agency, the last thing you want to do is have as little picks as possible. So that's going to be very interesting. And one last thing I will say, my bad, this is actually the last thing I'll say. Let's see what happens, man, if Zach Banner and Anthony McFarland are going to be active. And if that is the case, are we going to see Zach Banner starting at right tackle? And will that mean that Chooks is moved to the left? Or is Chooks down? Will Chooks be moved to the left? Or will Dan Moore keep his job, and it'll be him and Zach Banner. That's an interesting thing to keep an eye on. And also, if Anthony McFarland is active, I would like to see us use him more, not just to spell, but I also would like to see a couple series or two that's built around Anthony McFarland again, and that's keeping the defense guessing, like my man said earlier. Let's not, if we can avoid it, let's not run Najee into the ground. I would like to have some packages for other people, just giving a different look from time to time. And, that could be significant when you could just keep the defense on their toes. So there you have it, guys. And I'll go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, man, season-defining game. Hopefully tomorrow, man, we're talking about a Pittsburgh Steelers team that looked good. They went to Cleveland, got the job done, and we're talking about what players did what. Hopefully that is the outcome. But if it is the other outcome where the Steelers lose, then hopefully it's a close game enough to where we feel good about the team. We just weren't the better team that day, and then that's still a different conversation. But all right, man, of course, if you haven't already, right there. If you haven't subscribed, man, and you enjoy the content, you might as well subscribe, okay? I'm just saying it. Also, when you are subscribed, make sure you cut on your notifications so you know when videos like these are available. And also, man, if you like what you saw, man, if you really like what you saw, hit the like button. It makes no sense to only think you liked it. Why don't you show me you liked it by hitting the like? And if you dislike it, I accept that as well. Hit the down like, okay? You can down thumb it as well. But also, last but not least, if you guys care to donate, it's always optional. It is always available live on stream through YouTube. But if you prefer other means, like some of you do, and I think you guys are as well, you know who you are. Cash App is available, as well as PayPal. That information is in the description. But until next time, or until tomorrow, I'll see you guys on the post-game show. And I definitely thank you for tuning in tonight with the Terrible Towel pregame show, Week 8, season-defining game against the Browns. See you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace.